Welcome, everybody. I know it's been a few days since you've seen Crypto Kid TV, and hopefully you're enjoying the new studio setup. It took me a few days to put the new components together. Man, and I'm glad to be here. Today, we're going to discuss TikTok USA accounts being hacked from the UK and Pakistan. This appears to be a phenomenon that is occurring, and I am one of the victims. So, if you have been following along, you know that back in December, Congress had already agreed and decided to shut down TikTok here in the US, mainly due to a question of gathering information on individuals that could possibly duplicate identities as far as cybersecurity theft and some security breaches. And President Trump, when he was inaugurated, agreed to extend TikTok 90 days as there's still ongoing um, negotiations with ByteDance, which owns TikTok. Um, I am a TikTok shop affiliate. I have 3 different accounts. One of them has had a problem for 3 months, no, 4 months now, and I haven't been able to recover my showcase. And most recently, I've been hit with 2 bogus, and I have a fly, of course, in my face. I was hit earlier this week, both on Monday and Tuesday during a live stream with some bogus violations. Apparently, someone reported me. And then on Tuesday, a hacker was able to not only gather information, but they also reported me as well. So, and it's my understanding that many TikTok accounts in the United States are being hacked. And I've speculated as a cybersecurity specialist that it is an internal problem because TikTok has 2-step authentication. And I'm a full stack Java software developer as well as cybersecurity specialist. And I suspect that if these hackers are able to get into people's account and get beneath the 2-step authentication, that problem is an internal problem. What I'm speculating without 100% evidence, which I'll never have, is that both Indian and Pakistani software developers, who are the majority software developers for TikTok, are sharing the security code with their international community, and they're sharing how to breach the security mechanisms through 2-step authentication. Now, this is just a speculation, but I've been on Discord as well as Twitter, and I've seen a lot of comments over the last week about people reporting that their TikTok accounts are being hacked into. And more than 50% of the people, I would speculate around 60 to 70% of the people are dropping in the comments that they had 2-step authentication. So somehow these hackers are getting underneath the 2-step authentication, whether it's through your phone number or MS Authenticator. So, let's think about it. TikTok is mainly a phone app. Um, you can only perform 100% of the software application's abilities through a phone. So I would say 80 to 90% of the people that are operating on TikTok are accessing TikTok through their personal cell phones. I know that when I'm watching a live stream, I like to watch from my laptop because I can multitask and do quite a few different things at the same time. But when I live stream, I don't normally live stream through my desktop or my laptop. I normally live stream through my phone, and especially if you're a TikTok shop affiliate, you can only get access to 100% of the capabilities of the app by going live stream through your phone. So this is my speculation. I don't have 100% proof of evidence, but the fact that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we're seeing all of these breaches through TikTok accounts, and TikTok accounts have been able to be hacked, from my understanding, over the last 1 to 2 years. So this is not a new occurrence. The current phenomenon is that now TikTok has updated its software application and added two-step authentication to prevent breaches. And you can add your phone number as well as some type of authentication. And most people are using Microsoft authentication. However, like I said before, the hackers are getting underneath this authentication. And I had my account breached, and I was able to go in and change the email. They got in again. I added a phone number. I changed the email address as well as the password, and they're still able to get in. And I added a pass key, and they're still able to get in. They couldn't do much, but they were able to access it. Now it's my understanding they could actually now get in and make adjustments to login credentials. So I'm going to keep you posted. In addition to that, we have some good news that the market has risen. And let's see, Bitcoin had dropped below $80,000 to 76,000 US dollars. Let's see where the price of Bitcoin is now. Okay, Bitcoin had gotten up to 84,000, and now Bitcoin today is down $3,282 to the price of $79,288. I believe that Bitcoin is probably going to drop further, and this is just the market speculating on the trade tariff negotiations. And so this is actually an opportunity to make some money. Wow. Okay. So with Ethereum is 50% of the value that it was when President Trump was inaugurated. So just 2 months ago, Ethereum was trading around $3,200. Ethereum is trading at $1,512. It's down $156. That still does not mean that the S&P is down. Let's see where it is. The S&P is down $221 to the price of $5,270. So the bear market is in right now. This is an exit. This is a buying opportunity. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down $964 to the price of $39,643. So like I said before, to me, this is a buying opportunity. This is a great opportunity to buy in the Dow Jones, the S&P, but right now is a great price to get Ethereum at $1,500. It's been as high as $4,000. Let's actually check where the hot 6-month high for Ethereum is. So Ethereum was briefly at the price of $4,001 on December 7th, 2024. Let's get a 1 year though. Okay, that is pretty much the high. So, like I said, right now, Ethereum is trading at $1,513. This is a great buying opportunity. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Ethereum's all Your high is $4,646. And that was on November 13th, 2021. So, like I said, this is a great buying opportunity. They always say buy low and sell high. And right now, the um, the bear market is in control. So this is a great buying opportunity. I'm looking at it right now that this would be a great time to buy. Okay. As I told you before, today is April 10th, 2024. And I said that I didn't expect any revelation of an economic plan by Donald Trump until the third or fourth week of April. Thus far, I've been correct. Right now, we're in a trade tariff war. And I believe by the end of this, Donald Trump is going to come out on top. Donald Trump likes to put ideas out there and then negotiate from there. And I believe this is going to be successful. Many people are upset saying prices are going to be high. Prices are currently high because internationally, countries have placed 50 to 100% tariffs on the United States. In fact, okay, let's be real. Compared to Germany, who would buy an American car? At the same time, in Germany, there are people that probably can't afford a Volkswagen. And so they would probably opt to get a lower priced American car, even though despite the quality is less. So I'm expecting that what is most likely going to happen is that Germany, China, Japan has already come to the United States and has already agreed to negotiate on lowering tariffs. Vietnam, one of the things is the people we protect, like Vietnam and Cambodia and Canada and Mexico, they have these trade tariffs on us. So no country attacks or invades Canada or Mexico because they're neighboring countries to the United States. So they are concerned about the United States getting involved in any military conflict, whether it's Canada or Mexico. Yet when it comes to trade relations, they place tariffs on us. If we go to Asia and we look at the Philippines, we look at Vietnam and Cambodia. Let's go straight to Israel. Okay. Israel cannot even exist if it doesn't have the financial and military support of the United States. Benjamin Netanyahu, who, whatever anybody wants to say about Adolf Hitler, Benjamin Netanyahu is like 10 times worse than that, if not 100. And he wisely bet that if he could escalate tensions in the neighboring countries in the Middle East, that he would draw in the United States. And he was correct. And so we give them $3 to $4 billion in monetary aid as well as military aid. We support their 40% unemployment level. And the average Israeli lives as a upper middle class American. And they do that on the subsidies from the United States. And then they turn around and put tariffs on us. So it's my belief that eventually, despite the fact that Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is Jewish, that Donald Trump is going to have to end the military and financial aid to Israel. And if he doesn't, let's just speculate and say, as long as President Trump is in office, Israel will continue to receive financial and military aid. Well, once another president comes in, there's going to be pressure to end that. And when that occurs, that's when I speculate nuclear war is going to ignite, because the neighboring countries of Lebanon, Syria, and Iran are fed up as well as Egypt, are fed up with the behavior of Israel. And Israel wants to expand its territory. So that's what's really going on, is Israel has expansion ideas. And that's why it's put settlements on the Gaza Strip after all these agreements. And Israel is a house of cards. Eventually, it's going to collapse, if not during President Trump's presidency. It's going to collapse soon as he's out of office, even if the guy is alive, because there's no way that the state of Israel can continue on the way it's going on. And there's nothing President Trump or anybody else can do. And that is why the Biden administration, and remember, Barack Obama attempted to cut off all financial aid to Israel, and he was met with opposition from members of Congress who are dual American Israeli citizens. And that is another amendment that we're going to have to make to the Constitution, that no one can be in office in Congress and have dual citizenship, because that's a conflict of interest. You can't serve two kings. You can't serve two gods. You got to make your decision. And we all know that Bernie Sanders is a dual Israeli citizen. And I'm going to just type into Chat GPT how many members and what their names are, so we can just out these people right now. So even Chat GPT, since Chat GPT is controlled by Bill Gates, Chat GPT, so Chat GPT would not answer the question of what are the names of members of Congress who are dual American Israeli citizens. Bill Gates made sure that Chat GPT will not answer that question. However, we all know that Bernie Sanders is a dual American Israeli citizen. So let's see. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Google. Okay, so these people aren't going to reveal that they are. Let's see here from Chat GPT what it said. So the fact is, it's a don't ask, don't tell. So yes, we do have dual American Israeli citizens that are members of Congress. Under the American Constitution, there's nothing specifically there that prevents that, but that is problematic. And currently, we see the stance on Israel as being one of those problems and a reason to make an amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which is highly unlikely at this moment. But with that being said, we're going to get out of here today. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for being here. I hope you like the new studio setup for Crypto Kid TV. I've invested all of my last pennies. God bless you. Thank you for being here. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. And remember, the future is crypto.